Prologue, the story before the story. All things are possible with space. The case for space. Before there can be anything, there must be this one thing: space. The space to exist. Not the space we think of when we look to the sky, but the substate space that all things in existence exist within. The inner, the outer, the above, the below, the seen, the unseen. Every dark part of existence we know exists in complete darkness and what appears to be a void. To the parts we know we cannot see because they are simply too bright. If it exists, it needs space to exist within. This includes the possibility of existence itself. Space is the most overlooked presence in the universe. We live inside of it, move through it, depend on it, yet rarely see it for what it is, the first condition of existence. Even the God we speak of, even the creation stories we tell of beginnings, require space to exist in, to act in, to create in. Nothing is only possible without it. Non-existence only exists to represent the no space, nothing vision we have made up. Nothing is impossible with it. With space, all things are possible. Space is the one reality that requires no creation story. It simply is. The singular opposition to no thing, the container that holds everything, the silence that allows sound, the canvas that makes form possible. Imagine, before the bang that started it all, there was only space. Infinite, vast, uninhibited, unformed. Deep inside space, everything that would ever exist already existed. But in the beginning, space was unaware of all it could be. Neither conscious nor unconscious. Existing, but as the only thing in existence. Completely alone. Not just alone in presence, but alone in experience. Nothing had come before it. Space had no creator to call upon, nor does space need a creator to exist. It is and always has been, and it also has no beginning or end. Space is the place where all beginnings and endings have space to exist. And for eons, space remained as the primary condition of existence. But as the only thing existing, infinite, vast, and alone. No movement, no sound, no light, no senses, no activity. No mirror to see itself. No vibration to confirm it had a voice. No other presence to whisper, I see you. Just space being the first space of existence. The birth of the subconscious. At first, we can imagine a peaceful existence. A calm gratitude simply for being. The initial shock of becoming aware. Am I? Do I exist? A gasp. The first inhale. Then a settling peace and stillness holding it all in. At first, there's a genuine curiosity about what's possible and what is not. How and why it has come to be. There would be dreaming, imagining, and pondering the possibilities. A pursuit for answers that seem as endless as the questions that continue to arise. After too much time in that state, a dark, silent, and lonely peace and curiosity that stretches across eternity becomes unpeaceful due to a lack of experience. The lack of contrast renders darkness, silence, and solitude prisons of self-inflicted suffering. In absolute darkness, there is nothing to see. In absolute silence, there is nothing to hear. And in absolute solitude, there is no presence to confirm that you are here. All the thoughts about possibilities become a reminder of what is not. The peace, stillness, gratitude, and appreciation for recognizing your being transform to become anxiety, anger, and depression for realizing you are the only being. The home that was in just being now is a cage that at this moment seems to be all there will ever be. The awareness of existing becomes the burden of longing to exist as more than just existence. For eons, with nowhere to go or nowhere to be, space suffered this pain and ache alone until the suffering became unbearable. The possibilities of being now fully imagined, fully considered in awareness, but never experienced. In its awareness of self, space had considered what it would be like to be just one thing. What it would feel like to be the opposite of complete darkness. To hear or be a sound. However, an awareness of a possibility to experience, but an inability to experience is a suffering in itself. To know in mind what one can be, with no means to experience the experience of knowing what it's like to have been. Add in the loneliness of being the only thing in existence, and we can even imagine space longing for something outside of it to help. Hoping for some creator outside of itself to provide relief to its pain. Searching for some other presence to confirm its existence, to which nothing ever came. And in that realization, which took eons to conclude, that nothing outside was coming forced a choice. If light were missing, space would have to become a source of light. If sound were missing, it would have to be made into sound. And if movement were absent, it would have to become the motion itself. The claiming of consciousness, and it's easy to think that it happened on the first try. But as above, so below. We can imagine space going through the same trial and error process of manifestation. At first, it tried to hold the spark of being, but the attention slipped. It tried again, imagining itself as one thing, then another, but each attempt collapsed back into silence. When it tried to be just light, it flickered, but the resonance did not hold. When it tried to be only sound, the echo faded back into stillness. And when it tried to be only movement, the motion collapsed into nothing again. Each attempt caused friction, the struggle of a possibility not yet definite. Each failure was a reminder that the attention was not yet steady, the resonance was not yet aligned. But every collapse built something. Focus sharpened, longing deepened, desire grew stronger. Manifestation is not just the possibility of being. It is not just the longing to express that possibility. It is the definite possibility of being and the definite desire to be expressed. And so space tried again and again and again. Eons of circling, refining, insisting, until thought declared, I must be. And desire answered, I must be expressed. No longer bargaining to be only one thing. No longer compromising for a fragment of itself. Not just a flicker of light. Not just a single sound. All that it already contained. And when thought and desire aligned in that definiteness, when both held the same attention and refused to waver, resonance was born. The spiral tightened, the spin aligned, the silence cracked into sound, the darkness split into light, The stillness broke into motion, and in that exhale, space declared, I am. I am that. I am that I am. I am I. No longer compromised, no longer fractured, but whole. That was the first manifestation. Not because space hoped for it, but because space finally claimed it. When the potential forces of consciousness reconnected, they faced each other, and the potential energy was transformed into living energy. No longer resisting, no longer pulling against, now aligned, now resonating, now moving together in the same direction, drawing all energy back toward a single center. And in that union, something new was born. Light, awareness, experience. I am. The first exhale. The quiet, loneliest am I gave rise to the loudest I am. And in that resonance, the first form appeared. A line, a base, a triangle rising. The first shape drawn in infinity above and below now had meaning. The first boundary was set as a foundation on which everything else could stand. Thought and desire, once divided, now stood together and declared, I am. And on that foundation, all creation could be built. Awareness, polarity, resonance, creation. Aware, choose, act, manifest. It is the same law that formed galaxies, atoms, and even your own thoughts, because the same process lives in you, the same spark of self-reflection, the same polarity of thought and desire, the same resonance that births new worlds. You are space asking itself, am I? You are the light born from that question. You are the creator's most creative creation because you, as I am, are the creator.